everybody, welcome to Wacky Wednesday number 106 on the Leek. I'm John as always, and today it's time for something a little bit different. If you're a longtime viewer, you've seen these before. If you're new, you're going to see something pretty interesting. Basically, every FNM the night before pre-release weekend, we don't draft the most recent set. We draft all the sets. We draft packs of everything that's sitting on the store shelves. This time around, it was packs from Return to Ravnica all the way up through Kaladesh. There was one pack of every single set, and then 8 or 9 packs of duplicate sets. So some packs had 2 packs, some packs did not have any. But we're going to take a look behind my shoulder and see all of my draft picks. So here we are in the store. I've got packs of Fate Reforged, Dragons of Tarkir, and Return to Ravnica. So 2 of my packs kind of go with each other, and 1 doesn't. So I opened the mismatched one, Return to Ravnica, first. The earliest pack that we have in the draft. Of course, I'm looking for a Shockland or something of value. I pull out the Centaur token, but keep the basic land in because some packs don't have basic lands. There's an Annihilating Fire, which I immediately push to the front. There's a Tristani's Judgment, an Augur Spree, and then not too much else going on. There's a Catacomb Slug. Frostburn Weird's decent. Augur Spree is very good, but this isn't necessarily a format where you can just go black-red because there's so much in it. But I just go for the Annihilating Fire. It's a nice, safe pick. I'd be happy to play red. I'd be happy to be aggressive when everybody's trying to do crazy, dumb things. So I take that pack 1, pick 1. Up next, I'm past a pack of Fate Reforged. There's a Wild Slash right on top, which is totally fine. There's a Noxious Dragon as well, which was one of the better of the uncommon dragons in Fate Reforged. Beyond that, there's a Foil Erishin Cleric. There's a Goblin Heel Cutter that I pushed to the front, as well as an Aven Surveyor, both very solid. And here I was kind of faced with a decision. Do I take the Aven Surveyor, which I probably like the absolute most, the Heel Cutter, which is powerful, or the Wild Slash, which is just more removal and more burn, which goes very well with the Annihilating Fire that I pack 1, picked 1. This took me a little bit of a while. I passed through it again, but I did just take the Wild Slash and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to claim red like right now. Pack 1, pick 3 comes next, and it's Shadows of Innistrad. There's a Mad Prophet on front, which is red, but I saw this as I was looking at Sean, who was passing to me. It's a double-faced card. It's Handwear Militia Captain. I have no idea why 2 people have passed it, but that's a powerful card, and if I want to be red-white aggressive, Handwear Militia Captain is going to be solid in it, so I snap pick the Handwear Militia Captain. A Magic Origins pack is up next. We've got a Sphinx's Tutelage, which is fun, but come on, we're not going to do that. Knightly Valor's there, and I immediately push that to the front because Knightly Valor is real good. I remember Stalwart Aven being pretty decent as well, but Knightly Valor is super powerful, and again, if I'm playing a bunch of creatures and being aggressive, making them as big as a +2/+2 plus a knight is just too good to pass up, and I take that Knightly Valor. Up next, we get ourselves a pack of Theros, and there's a Nylea's Emissary on front, and a Leaf Crown Dryad, and green is suddenly looking real good. There's a Battlewise Hoplite and a Crowan Crusader, a Spearporn Oread. That goes into my red plan if I do just want to stay on color. And honestly, I find in Chaos Drafts, it's best to get into your colors as soon as humanly possible, because everybody else is either not going to know what they're doing or trying to do really cute things. So if you can just be super consistent and get 23 really solid playables, you're in good shape. So I do just take that Oread, as opposed to going into green, which was looking a little bit open in that pack. A pack that everybody should know about is up next, Kaladesh. There's a Bastion Mastodon on front, which would be a totally fine white playable, but there's a foil Spireside Infiltrator, which would fit solidly into what I'm doing right now. Bastion Mastodon, while good, is not quite as aggressive as a Spireside Infiltrator, so I do take that, plus hey, it's a foil. Up next, we've got ourselves a pack of Return to Ravnica. This isn't my pack, though. It's somebody else's pack, I believe. There's an Electrickery on top. There's a Skull Rend, which I had to reread and remember what it did. It's not actually that good. Electrickery is probably just the only pick that I kind of have here that's in my colors. Maybe there's a bunch of X1s in this Chaos format, but I don't honestly think so. Green-white, I mean, maybe green is so open that I have to go into it. And Centaur Healer's good. It's a 3/3 for 3 that gets you 3 life. And that is pretty darn solid for a common. So I push that to the front. It's kind of between that or Electrickery here. I think I might actually be talking to somebody at the table right now, which is why I'm taking so long to make this pick. I go back through all of the stuff, but spoiler alert, I do eventually take that Centaur Healer, which I will cut to right now while I look through my deck. Up next, we have the last numbered core set, M15. There's a Wall of Essence on top, which is not the aggressive plan, but It stops other people's aggressive plans. It's an 04, or sorry, 03, 04, I believe 04, for 2, that whenever it gets dealt combat damage, you gain that much life. There is also a Rummaging Goblin, which probably goes in my deck a little bit better, but maybe for consistency reasons, I might want the Wall of Essence. It'll save me against a lot of the ground game, and if I can get some white flyers, it could work well, so I do take that Wall of Essence. Journey into Nyx comes up next. We've got not much, a foil Flurry of Horns, an Eidolon of Rhetoric, and I'll tell you a story about that a little bit later. And Starfall's here, which is fine. It's 5 mana for a Lightning Bolt, which is very, very expensive, but it's instant speed. Chaos Draft generally is a slow format anyways, and if I do happen to hit an enchantment creature with it, I get to Lightning Bolt my opponent's face as well. Seems like the only real pick here. Flurry of Horns is just way too expensive. 5 mana for a pair of 2/3s at sorcery speed. Eidolon of Rhetoric, I could play it, but it's not really what I want to do. So I go the burn route. It goes with my 3 other burn cards I already have, and I feel fairly okay with that. My Return to Ravnica pack comes back, and Tristani's Judgment's still there, so I just snap pick it because removal is removal in a Chaos Draft format. The Fate Reforged pack that I picked the Wild Slash out of comes back, and there's a bunch of white, although none of it's really good. There's a Soul Summons and a Great Horn Crew something. I can't remember what that was called offhand, which is just a vanilla creature. Soul Summon's fine. War Flare is both of my colors, however, and it's a great combat trick. Really surprises people. It can end games. Instant speed +2/+1 I am fine with, plus it on taps. Next up, I get myself the Shadows over Innistrad pack. The only thing here is an Ethereal Guidance, why I would not take the blue cards, certainly not Trail of Evidence or the Giant Turtle. It was also around this point that we discovered somebody had taken out that checklist card, assuming that it should have been taken out, but it was in fact the basic land slot. So I believe I do end up getting an extra card here in just a second. Or actually, it's more like 30 seconds later. I think we were discussing what happened. We've got a Stalwart Aven and Grasp of the Heromancer. Both I wouldn't mind, but Stalwart Aven is the sort of flyer plan that I was talking about. I can try to walls up on the bottom and then fly through with the Stalwart Aven. It's a 1/3 flyer to start for 3, which is okay, but then it has Renown 1, which means the second it does combat damage, it gets itself a counter the first time that happens. It doesn't ever get another counter after that, but a 2/4 flyer is totally fine. Grasp of the Heromancer was also fine when I played Origins, but I decided not to take it there. Here we have a Chosen by Heliod, which I will almost 100% not play, but I won't take the basic land, and a Mountain to finish off Pack 1. So at the end of Pack 1, I'm solidly into red-white, minus that 1 Centaur healer, and feeling pretty okay with it. I've got my direction, which is where you want to be after Pack 1 in a Chaos Draft. For Pack 2, I decided to go with the Fate Reforged, leaving the Dragons of Tekir until last. There's a Dragon Bell Monk sitting here on top. I pull out the token. My rare, or I have a foil Swamp. My rare is Temur War Shaman, which is really, really, really good, but I don't super want to push into green now. Certainly not double green. I look at the Windscarred Crag. I push that to the front because, hey, I'm playing red-white. Push Wandering Champion to the front as well. It's my favorite stats in white. 1 and a white for a 3/1. Plus, I am playing red, which means that if I have a red permanent down and this does damage to a player, I can rummage. I can discard a card and draw a card, which is totally fine. So that fits my aggression plan. I really feel sad about passing that Temur War Shaman. I'm certainly not taking the Lightning Shrieker or the Rune Mark. I do just take that Wandering Champion. Up next from the left, I get past a pack of Oath of the Gatewatch. We've got a Searing Light, a Mauve Kozilek, a Cinder Hellion, an Embodiment of Fury, which I push straight to the front, and hey, a Needle Spires. I'm playing red-white. Needle Spires is a red-white land, plus it gets double strike if I turn it on. But it's a real struggle between Embodiment of Fury, a 4/3 for 5, I believe, that turns your lands into 3/3s the first turn that you play the land. But I do go for the Needle Spires. It's a rare, it's got double strike, it's going to help my mana. Totally fine by me. Pick it and pass. From the left, I get myself a pack of Return to Ravnica. There's a Lobber Crew on front and a Swift Justice, which are my 2 colors, and that's about it for this pack. So it's between Lobber Crew or a combat trick. I like Lobber Crew, although I don't know how many multicolored spells I'm going to be playing. You can tap it to ping a player, or ping an opponent, each opponent in fact, and it untaps when you play a multicolored spell. I have 1 so far, which would be 2 pings in 1 turn, but otherwise this is also part of my sort of aggro, and if it doesn't work out, I can walls up and fly over and ping every turn. So I do take that and pass. Next up is, I believe, the first Born of the Gods pack that we've seen. I flip through, where's the red? There's the red Krogma Butcher, and then an archetype of Aggression? Aggression are really my only picks in this pack. We've got one red for a 3/2 that gives all of my creatures trample, which is pretty fine by me. Or we have a 2/3 for 3 that, if it attacks each turn, becomes a 4/3 when it untaps. I just take the archetype of Aggression, seems a little bit more consistent to me. And hey, look! That Born of the Gods pack is followed by the second Born of the Gods pack. We've got a Griffin Dreamfinder, we've got a Ragemonger, another Krogma Butcher, a Fearsome Temper, what was that? Thunderous Might? Yes, it's a 2-mana enchantment that whenever the enchanted creature attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is your red devotion. Which is fine, but I don't know how much red devotion I'm going to be getting exactly. Griffin Dreamfinder is a 1/4 for 5 that when it enters the battlefield, you can return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand, which I don't know exactly how many of those I plan on getting. This pack just doesn't seem to have that much. There's a Hold at Bay as well, which is also really mediocre. I sit there staring at that Dreamfinder for quite a while, wondering, is that really the best card in the pack? There's a Ragemonger, which is not going to have the synergy you want. There's a Krogma Butcher, which may just be the pick. It's a 2/3 for 3. Or there's a Fearsome Temper. And I do just take the Fearsome Temper, deciding, hey, if I'm going to be aggressive, may as well throw a really bad enchantment on that can help me get through. So I go with that, hoping that maybe there's not that much removal, but also probably not just going to play it anyways. Coming from the left next is a pack of Gatecrash. I think our first pack of Gatecrash. There's a Beckon Apparition on front, which is a sideboard card, I guess, that I could take. There's also a Viashino Shanktail. What else is in the pack? There's a Guildscorn Ward, and then, hey, Syndic of Tithes. I love Syndic of Tithes in Chaos Draft. I've been Orzhov many times in Chaos Drafts, and Extort is just powerful. It's a bear anyways, so I pick that, and pass the rest. Next up, we have ourselves another pack of Oath of the Gatewatch. So many gates. We've got an Ondu War Cleric, which I pushed to the front. There's a Relentless Hunter, which maybe I could splash for, but that doesn't sound like a great idea. Foil Iona's Blessing. I'm already building up on too many dumb auras. So the Ondu War Cleric really just sits at the front as a 2/2 for 2, and maybe I can get some ally synergy in it, but if not, it's still a totally playable bear. Up next, we get a pack of Gatecrash, finally. We have Murder Investigation, a Hellraiser Goblin, a Tin Street Market, Skybinder Staff, Green Warden. There's nothing going on in this pack, nothing that I'd actually play. Tin Street Market is horrifyingly expensive and bad. Murder Investigation is just really kind of dumb. Hellraiser Goblin is just bad. It's a 2/2 for 3 with a downside. All of your creatures have to attack each turn. I take it, but I have no plans on playing it. Up next, we get ourselves a pack of Eldritch Moon. There's a Shreds of Sanity, which is mediocre, a Kessig Prowler, and a Give No Ground. There's an Iron Rites Cleansing for the sideboard, I suppose. I have to reread Shreds of Sanity to remember what it does. It's really not that good. Iron Rites Cleansing is a sorcery, which is mediocre. Give No Ground is terrible. I don't like any of these cards in this pack. There's an Enlightened Maniac, which I read for a little while for some reason. I know exactly what that card does, but I just take the Iron Rite Cleansing and say, hey, maybe I'll need it for the sideboard. Up next, we've got our Fate Reforged pack back again, and nothing's left here for me outside of a Smoldering Efreet and an Abzan Runemark. Runemarks are miserably bad, and Abzan Runemark I'm not going to turn on at all, so I take the Smoldering Efreet, but again, with absolutely zero plans on ever playing it. Oath of the Gatewatch comes back next. That Searing Light's still there, along with a Maw of Kozilek. But without colorless mana being readily available, Maw is just not going to do anything in this format. So Searing Light, I think, is just going to be the pick here. I might main deck it, because it can kill some things, but it's not great, but it's the only pick, really. That Return to Ravnica pack that I picked the Lobber Crew out of comes back, and there's nothing for me. There's a Mind Rot, a Doorkeeper, a Dredge Beetle, and a Mountain. I did see Sean, the person that I'm passing to right now, pick up that Kessig Prowler, and so I hate a green card, because, hey, there's nothing else to do in that pack. Final 3 cards, we've got ourselves Immortal's Resolve and a Pharaoh's Radiance and a Plains. Pharaoh's Radiance is the only on-color card. I take it. The other 2 cards don't matter, but neither does that one. 2 picks left in this pack. We've got a Swamp and a Hold at Bay. I guess that means maybe I'm in the right seat, or the right color for the seat. Who knows? Anyways, I pass that Swamp on. And hey, look at that, I get a swamp anyways. So I throw that in my basic lands pile. And yeah, I'm liking the deck so far. It's solidly red-white. I've got the aggro plan. I've got the flyover and lob crew stuff at them while I set up my walls plan as well. We'll see what this Dragons of Tarkir pack has for me. We join me in progress, struggling to open this pack of Dragons of Tarkir. I could not open this pack, and beyond that, the cards felt really weird. They had like a different finish than any other card. It was really, really strange for a sealed pack. Anyways, I throw away that token. There's a Silumgar's Assassin, Fate Forgotten, a Student of Ojutai, a Summit Prowler, a Kolaghan Skirmisher. Not much going on in this pack for me. Summit Prowler would be a very, very, very boring first pick. Fate Forgotten would also be a boring first pick since it would be purely in the sideboard. I have a couple of auras, but that's still not good enough to play Graceblade Artisan. You can see me actually feeling the finish of the cards here because they felt so strange. I don't know what was up with them. So Silumgar Assassin, I read it again. I try to remember, what does this do exactly? What does this do? Could I splash for it? Because it is a morph card, so of course I can pay 3 generic mana, and I have a 2/2 at least. So I do push that Silumgar Assassin to the front and start thinking, might be good enough. Might just be good enough to play. Probably better than Summit Prowler anyways, and I do snap that down. From the right, I get a pack of Battle for Zendikar. There's a Sanctum of Ugin, which is stone unplayable. There's a Drana's Emissary and a Courier Griffin, both of which kind of go into my plan at the moment, especially since I'm now starting to think about splashing black and going 3 colors, as much as I strongly prefer going 2 colors in a Chaos draft. But yeah, I keep it on the front, I look through, and there's some other choices, but I do take it because it's so freaking powerful. And again, it's on the plan of try to be aggro, but if not, wall up and ping them to death. Up next, we get ourselves a pack of Magic Origins. There's a Gearpoor Gearcrafter, which I push right to the front, being very excited, but then being even more excited by, oh boy, a Consul's Lieutenant, and as you saw in between there, a Kythian's Irregulars. This was a stacked pack for me, and a stacked pack for Magic Origins anyways. Kythian's Irregulars, probably just the flat-out most powerful card in this pile, but all of them are very, very, very good, but I can't pass up that Irregulars. An Eldritch Moon pack comes up, or Shadows Eldritch Moon pack comes up next. Somebody's left their token in it for some reason. There's a Weaver of Lightning, which I push to the front. Look through, there's a Faithbearer Paladin, a Distemper of Blood, a Desperate Sentry. I push both of those to the front. Desperate Sentry and Weaver of Lightning. Weaver of Lightning, just again, sounds like that walls up, flyover, and ping plan. I'm almost not attempting to be an aggro deck anymore at this point, and I think I'm pretty okay with that. Desperate Sentry, yeah, it could get big if I get Delirium online, but I don't know that I'm going to get Delirium online. It's not like there's discard outlets or anything like that. Weaver of Lightning just sounds like a much better idea, plus it blocks flyers, it can kill off the X1s, and so I do just take it. Coming from the right, we get ourselves a pack of Dragon's Maze, as terrible as that is. There's a Rakdos Guildgate, which helps me splash the black plan that I suddenly decided on. There's a Possibility Storm, which the astute amongst you might know what my Eidolon of Rhetoric story is about. Rakdos Guildgate, Wear and Tear, Maze Rusher. There's nothing super playable for me going on in this pack outside of the Rakdos Guildgate. There is a Boros Mastiff, but at this point I'd sort of realized I was off the super aggro plan. So I do just go for the splash to help me play the Silumgar Assassin and the Drana's Emissary. Up next, we've got a pack of Shadows. We've got a Pyrehound that we push to the front, and then absolutely nothing else, not a single card. Since I'm now splashing black, I think about that Stallion, or maybe the Macabre Waltz, but no, I'm just going for the Pyrehound, and I probably won't even play it. There was a lot of green in that pack, which was a little bit strange, but far too late now. Getting near the end now, we get past a pack of Khans of Tarkir. There's a red-white life gain land. There's a Salt Road Patrol, a Raider's Spoils. Not much going on there. I pushed the Raider's Spoils to the front. I do like this card. I had a lot of success with it in Khans of Tarkir. I've had success with it in Chaos Draft before. But I'm only splashing for black. I don't really have that many warriors, and the aggro plan's kind of gone by the wayside anyways, so I do keep that Windscarred Crag on the front instead for now, and I do decide to just take it. It'll help with the mana base, it'll gain me life, fine by me. Up next, we've got ourselves some Battle for Zendikar. There's a Lithomancer's Focus, an Ondu Rising. Core Blade Whirl's fine. It's an ally, so maybe it'll actually go with the Ondu War Cleric, I think those are the words, and I didn't just make that up, that I already have in my deck, and hey, it'll give stuff first strike. Seems fine to me. It's part of the now backup aggro plan, really. Second pack of Kaladesh coming up, we've got Aetherflux Reservoir, which is far too wacky for me to try in a Chaos draft. There's a Bastion Mastodon, which is probably just the most playable card in the pack for me. Not sure if I will, in fact, play it, but I do take it. Immediately following that up is this Khans of Tarkir, or Dragons of Tarkir that I opened. The Fate Forgotten's there. The Graceblade Artisan's still there. This is the one that feels weird. I feel the cards again a little bit. Not sure why they were different. I assume maybe they were printed elsewhere. Whoops. Let me know. I was going to say I take that Fate Forgotten, but maybe I do in fact take the Graceblade Artisan. It's probably not playable even with the Knightly Valor, but who knows. Courier Griffin's still in this pack. I'm super happy about that. I take a moment to read Shatterskull Recruit just in case, but the flyer plan is where I want to be, so I do take that Courier Griffin. Final picks now. We've got ourselves absolutely nothing. Nobody's going to play Maritime Guard. Nobody's going to play Fairy Miscreant, so I do take the Archer, whose name I forgot, and I should have looked at before I passed that card. This pack, there's nothing for me. There's a Succumb to Temptation that I take because nobody's going to play Banquet. And then, of course, the final non-basic land pick is Wear and Tear. Perfectly fine sideboard card that I'd be totally happy to have. Final pick isn't a land. It's a Silverburn Snapper. So now, aside for story time, for those of you who didn't quite follow, the same person ended up with Eidolon of Rhetoric and Possibility Storm. Eidolon of Rhetoric is a creature, it's a 1/4, I want to say, that says players can only cast one spell per turn. Or I think it says players can't cast more than one spell per turn. Possibility Storm says, when you cast a spell, exile it instead of resolving it, and then flip cards off the top of your library until you hit one that's the same type. Cast that one instead. The first one is cast with Eidolon of Rhetoric. The second one cannot be cast. If you play both of those cards, nobody can play spells anymore. They can cast the first one, but it goes away, and the second one never happens. The same person got both of those cards, so they had a hard lock. They get a head in board or a head in cards in their deck, put down the Possibility Storm Eidolon of Rhetoric combo, and nobody can play anything for the rest of the game. They can still attack, they can still block, they can still do activated abilities, but it's going to be inevitable that somebody's going to die through attrition somehow. In addition to that, he also had Worldspine Worm, which means he would cast a bear and exile it with Possibility Storm and flip over, hopefully, Worldspine Worm and cast it for free. Worldspine Worm being, I believe, a 15/15 or something ridiculous. Anyways, craziness. Here's the deck that I ended up with, though. A pretty nice curve, a ton of 2-drops, a ton of 3-drops, only 3 4-drops, 3 5-drops, and a single 6-drop. Taking a look at the 1-drops explicitly, we have a Searing Light and a Wild Slash, just some removal. One extraordinarily better than the other. Wild Slash, very, very solid. I used it to finish off some games because it can hit the player. Searing Light, I don't think I ever used because there's big creatures, and it only hits 2 power or less when they're attacking or blocking only. So one good card, one bad card. Over in the 2-drops, we had Mono White. We had Syndicate of Ties, which I really liked. I had plenty of Extort triggers happening. Undo War Cleric, which never had an ally friend, but was a fine bear. Silumgar Assassin, which was great. I was able to morph it, wait until I got my black mana, flip it up, kill something, and have a 3/2 that was a bit tricky to block. Core Blade Whirl was fantastic, giving first strike to all my team. Wall of Essence was an all-star because the hide behind walls and ping plan did work. Wandering Champion was fine, aggression, and Handwear Militia Captain. I believe she maxed out at a 13/13 once. She did some very, very solid work. In the 3-drop slot, Spearpoint Oriad, I never really bestowed on anything. I did embarrassingly bestow it on a Wall of Essence once just because I desperately needed a blocker that could hold up against a 4/4. Stalwart Haven was an all-star. As I said, the plan was to walls up and fly by the end, and it did it very well. Lubber Crew, I pinged for a bunch of damage. One fantastic turn, I actually pinged, played the gold on-tap card, on-tapped because it was a gold card, ping, on-tapped because the card said to on-tap, ping, plus my flyers got +2/+1, and that was the end of that game. Drana's Emissary did some good work, as did Weaver of Lightning and Spireside Infiltrator. Annihilating Fire, of course, was very good as well, especially because it could just hit players. In the 4-drop slot, we had Courier Griffin, which was part of the flying plan, and it did that very well. Kythian's Irregulars was arguably part of the Walls Up plan. It helped me just tap things down and stall the game out long enough to ping them and fly them to death. And Warflare, the card that I was talking about, that it worked so well with Lobber Crew. In the 5-drop slot, we have Bastion Mastodon, which I don't remember ever playing, but it was in my deck, apparently. Starfall I did play sometimes, and I did actually get to Lightning Bolt my opponent because they had an enchantment creature, which I managed to kill with this, and Knightly Valor, which was a very solid card on my flyers. Finally, we had Tristani's Judgment. Nice bit of instant speed removal, super expensive, but Chaos Draft tends to go a little bit late. In the lands, I had the Rakdos Guildgate to help me splash for black, the Windscarred Crag just because, and the Needle Spires also just because, which did save me a few times as people tended to forget that it could turn into a creature, and I was able to get a few players with that. So that's the deck. That's how it ended up. We did 4 rounds because we had 9 people, just enough to do 4 rounds. I won round 1 rather handily. Round 2, I lost against a very aggressive red-black deck that had just as much removal, if not more than I did. Despite being so aggressive, we ended up going to like turn 20 or turn 22 or something like that because we just kept removing and disabling each other's creatures, and my walls were stopping his Goblin Slide shenanigans, but he was able to get through in the end. He was the only person who beat me, and he actually won the entire tournament. Round 3 and round 4 both went pretty smoothly, and I finished up at 3-1 to grab 2nd place. So that's Chaos Draft. Chaos Draft is definitely super fun. If your store ever has a chance to do it, I strongly recommend it. The older the packs are, the more crazy it can get. I definitely want to do a really old Chaos Draft at some point. But yeah, let me know about your Chaos Draft experiences. Have you ever done it? What packs did you use? Let me know down in the comments below. As always, if you like the content, click that thumbs up icon. It really, really helps the discoverability of my channel, which is, I think, part of the growth that we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed so that you can see more content. I will, of course, be doing exactly this Saturday for my first F&M with Aether Revolt. I will be doing a behind-the-shoulder, card-by-card draft recap of the first Aether Revolt draft, so make sure that you do check that out as well. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me on Twitter at TheManaLeek. That's L-E-E-K, like the vegetable, not the card. You can also find me at Facebook.com/TheManaLeek, Twitch.tv/TheManaLeek, and Patreon.com/TheManaLeek. If you want to become a backer there, there's tons of rewards, including getting one of these playmats, one of the Mana League playmats, so definitely check that out. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, see y'all next time.